What's up, YouTubers? Thank you so much for visiting my channel once again. My name is Cordell Coles, aka The Fashion Connoisseur. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own t-shirt simply by using what you already have. So I'll go through the process step by step, and I also have in the description the tools you need. So first, before we get started, I'm going to show you the tools that you'll need. First, you want to make sure you have some construction paper, 18 by 20 inches. Or if you're familiar with dot paper, you can also use dot paper. This is pretty much long paper with little numbers on there for drafting patterns. You want to make sure you have these weights here to hold the paper down because they do curl at the edges. You only need maybe about 2. And if not, you can just substitute them with something else pretty much heavy that can hold the edges of the paper down at the corners. Next, you will need a ruler, 18-inch ruler, very flexible. A lot of drafting students use these tools. You'll need a French curve. This is pretty much for making curved lines and angles, like such as your neckline and your armhole. You'll need your pencil. I prefer a mechanical pencil for more clear and precise lines. You'll also need measuring tape. It can be exactly 60 inches long. Anything that has inches as a metric or units. And you'll need what we call an awl tool. This is a tool that a lot of designers use for puncturing holes into the patterns, but I'm going to show you how to use this tool to transfer the lines onto the paper. And if you don't have this tool, you can also substitute it with push pins, and I'll show you what I mean as I go through. So the first thing you want to do is you want to grab a t-shirt, one of your favorite t-shirts, or one that you wear pretty often. You want to lay it on top of the paper. So here is my t-shirt that I'm going to use. And you want to make sure the whole t-shirt doesn't have to be inside the white paper, because we're only going to do half. And we're just going to flip the pattern to mirror it. Because a t-shirt is asymmetrical. It measures the same on both sides. So you want to lay your t-shirt out. You want to make sure it's flat. So you can get your measurements. Okay, so once that's flat, you want to grab your measuring tape. You want to start with what we call the center front. And you want to find out, when you look at your t-shirt, you might not know exactly where the center front, the neckline is, this part right here. So what you'll do is you'll measure from the shoulder tip at the very top here. You'll line the tip of the tape with the shoulder tip, and you'll just measure around the neckline of the t-shirt till you get all the way to the other side. So for my measurement, I got 12 inches. So you want to take half of that. So we'll get 6 inches. So what we'll do, we'll take our measuring tape. We'll measure 6 inches from the shoulder tip. We'll just go around like so. And we'll grab our awl tool here. This is going to be our transfer tool, so we know where to make our marks at. It transfers the indication of where the center front is through the t-shirt onto the paper. So you'll put a puncture here, and this will be your center front. You can also use wax paper too. If you have wax paper, that would be a perfect piece of paper to use to transfer your measurements. So that's your center front. And also you will need your pencil to measure, so you measure your center front. You'll grab your pencil, you'll trace around the t-shirt, starting from the center of the shirt. So we measured the 6 inches, and now we have to measure the back part of the t-shirt. Starting again at the shoulder tip, and then we'll come around. And the back t-shirt measurement will be actually a little bit different because the back neckline, the back shape of the back neckline is different from the front. So for this measurement, we got 7.5. So half of that would be 7 3/4. So we'll measure from the shoulder tip here all the way around 3 3/4. I'm sorry, my math is off for a minute. Sorry, 3 3/4, which is half of 7.5. And we'll take our awl tool and we'll make a mark here. So that's our center back neck. So we have that measurement, and what we'll do is we'll grab our pencil and we'll trace around the back neck here. Just trace around. The line doesn't have to be perfect. Just trace around from the back neck to the shoulder tip, all the way around to the armhole tip. And then this section here, from the shoulder tip to the ribbing of the neck, so the neck tip to the shoulder tip is another section of the t-shirt. You'll mark that, and you just make a little line there. So you're pretty much just going to trace around the t-shirt with your pencil. Doesn't have to be perfect. We'll go back and straighten our lines out, and we'll just continue to come around. Make a notation for the hem of the t-shirt. And we just continue to come around. You don't have to draw this whole line. You can just mark it at the corners. Just make sure this is flat. Keep this flat. Definitely want to keep your t-shirt flat throughout the whole process so you get the correct measurements. So there, and then under the arm. And then we want to come down. We want to measure our hem. We want to measure from one end of the shirt at the bottom to the other end of the shirt. So we want to measure from one side seam to the other side seam. So put the tip of your measuring tape onto the side seam and measure all the way to the other end of the side seam. And then we're going to divide it in half because we're only working with half right now. Okay, so I got 20 inches. So our center front hem here will be half of that, which is 10. And we want to mark it at the 10 inches. And we have our mark over here for the side seam. So we have our measurement from the side seam here to our center front, 10 inches. And then we want to measure, and then we have our measurement from here, our neck tip to our center back, which was 3 3/4. And then we want to measure from our shoulder tip, or our neck tip, to our armhole tip, which is 5 3/4. And then we want to measure, we want to put all our measurements down. We want to measure from our shoulder tip to our sleeve hem, which is 7 1/4. Just makes it easier when you put all your measurements down. You can know what they are when you go back later when you're making your pattern. And we want to know what our our length of our shirt is from our armhole pit down to the hem. So we can measure that. So we got 15 and a half, 15.5, and we got 10 inches here. So the last thing we want to do is we want to know how we can transfer our neckline here to the paper. And this is what I mean when I said I was going to show you the technique of transferring that shape. And we also want to transfer our armhole to the paper as well. So what we'll do is we'll grab our awl tool, because these are the only two curved lines in making the pattern for your t-shirt. Just hold your t-shirt still and just grab your awl tool and just stick it right through where the seam is on your t-shirt. And don't worry, it's not going to really puncture too much of a hole into your t-shirt. Just be very gentle. Don't be really aggressive with it. Just puncture it straight down. You don't need to do it every few inches. You only need to do it maybe like 2 inches apart. Just so you have that indication, so you can transfer that curve onto the paper to make your pattern. So I'm gonna make one here. I mean, they don't have to be exact every inch, like 2 inches apart. And we're only doing half. So we're only gonna go all the way to our center front, just so we have that indication. So we have our neck transferred, and now we're gonna do our armhole. Do the same thing for your armhole. Puncture here. Just keep going all the way down the curve. I find it very easier if you use a light colored t-shirt. That way you can kind of see what you're doing. You can see the seam. So you just want to keep going around until you get all the way to the end. Okay, so now you have your armhole curve transferred, and then you have your neckline transferred. So you actually have your front neckline transferred. So now we're going to transfer the back neckline as well. So you want to do the same thing for the back neckline. You want to transfer it. Now for the back neckline, you want to start from the center line going towards the neck tip, because this piece of material is blocking the curve here. So you want to start here. You want to start here and go towards the left. That way you have both your front pattern and you have your back pattern transferred. And you can kind of just lift this piece of the material up and just keep going around. And then you'll blend in the rest once you take the shirt off. So now you can remove your shirt. And now we're going to fill in the gaps to where your t-shirt is. So you're going to fill in your center front, which is right here. You can actually use a bigger ruler. Okay, let's see. So you want to make, now you can kind of go back and perfect your lines. I have to go back and check my center front line. And this is the hem. You really don't need that. Fill in your curve line. Flip this over. Just want to continue it around like so. And here's our center front. Just curve it around like so. Should have made another indication right here. So what I'll do is, since our bottom is 10 inches, I'll go over another 10 inches so I can connect the lines a little bit easier. Just 10 inches. So we can just go straight up. Connect our hem. Okay. So if you also need to, you can also go back if you like, just to check your lines and check your measurements by simply just make your lines a little bit better or cleaner. You can simply just put your t-shirt back over your pattern just to check it. Just line everything back up. Like so. So I think I need to go back and check this. So my measurement from here to here is 2 1/4. So I want to go back in 2 1/4 approximately, just so I can make sure that's a little bit even. 2 1/4. So we go back in 2 1/4. I'm just adjusting my pattern. Just check it, just to make sure. You just pretty much use your shirt as your pattern. So you just want to go back and make sure everything is in order. Okay, so there is our pattern. And then you want to check this curve here for your back. So that's the back. Okay. So here is your pattern. You have your back here. This is your back neck. This is your front neck. This is your center front. This is your shoulder. This is your sleeve. This is your armhole. This is the front neckline, so I should put neckline. This is your hem, which is the bottom of your shirt. And this is your side seam. So these are the exact measurements you would need in order to create your shirt pattern, t-shirt pattern. So this is the front. Usually when you make your pattern, you want to use 2 different color pencils so you know which one is which. So I'll highlight it for you in the next video so we know which one is our front, and then I'll highlight the back so we know which one is our back. So that's pretty much the process for creating your pattern for your t-shirt. And also, like I said, I'll have in the description all the tools you'll need and where you can find these tools in order to get started. In the next video, I'll show you with the material cut out on the process of sewing and putting it together. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down in the description. Please like if you enjoyed the video or if you got something out of it. And please subscribe for more upcoming content. Thank you so much.